Hello, everyone, and welcome. So let's start us off with my keto coffee. And I'm finally on the new bag, so that's pretty cool. Um, and this is exactly like if you were to order it, it would look exactly like this. And we are going to put it in there and mix it up. Oh, I forgot to put batteries in it. That's funny. Okay, so as I'm doing that, FYI, okay, so I have a couple of things. I said I was going to review the anti-racist, and yeah, I'm not. I'll do it tomorrow. But instead, I want to remind you that Hamilton on Disney Plus is out. And so, first off, I did attempt to watch it all last night because it came out at midnight. And I didn't because it is 2.5 hours plus a 1 minute intermission. And so I got it going. My father. Okay. So I had to finish it this morning, and let me say that I adored it. Of course, you know, everything is wrapped. It's a musical, and so everything is kind of like wrapped. I mean, of course, I love the diversity, and I'm not concerned that if people come to read his, you know, come to this, will they think that the framing of a country was this diverse? And you know what's so strange about this is that I will say that the Hamiltons and other founders of this country on a July 4th weekend, they were not all just from England. And people have to realize that England and, you know, iced coffee, because it tastes way better iced than hot. I tried the hot and I was like, yeah, I can't do this. No, I can't. I tried. I can't. So, iced coffee it is. And so, I do want people to realize that that the British were very, very controlling. Don't forget, today is the Greens. Today is my Greens Day. So I'm gonna have a super green. So it's, you know, the British were just so controlling and so overwhelming and so, you know, an empire that, and they were constantly at war, and they were not very liked. I mean, if you know anything about world history, you'll know that France and the Brits have, you know, I think this is the warmest that they've ever been in relationship with each other. So I just think that's kind of funny. Like, their relationship that they have right now is the funniest and it's the warmest, and it's, you know, ever in history. But England was not, you know, well liked at all. America was not the only ones that didn't have a grape. And so, but it was because of America's success in liberating itself that the Brits became much more aware that they need to deal with the other settlements that they had and make sure that they can have a more outstanding relationship than some type of relationship, so that they can still somewhat benefit from their relation, and not be like, uh, and not be like America and have and pretty much lose its most profitable colony. So there's that, and I mean I think that that is something to acknowledge. The reason why the American Revolution was not just important, and this is the reason why France backed the American Revolution, primarily because they realized that this would be one of the death blows for England's domination. And it was. It really, really was. Okay, so I have really cold water, and I think that's one of the best ways to, I think this is one of the best ways to do the super greens. Okay, I have something exciting. I normally don't show my breakfast because it's nothing to really show. But today I woke up a little early and I made a parfait. I love vanilla yogurt, and this is I'm late to life. And my husband was like, "You're going to get healthy," and then he tasted it and he didn't like it, so he so what this is granola. He tasted the granola and didn't even like it himself, but I actually like it. Go figure. And then so I use it for my parfaits, and then it's not a whole nectarine. It's 3/4 of a nectarine. I actually struggle with peaches. Like I grew up on peaches, but it's something about the fuzziness on the outside that just I won't buy a peach. And so actually, and the strange thing is my kids don't even eat nectarines, and I'm like, who are you? You're my kid? Anyway, so nectarines, and then I crumbled a few raisins on top. I love raisins, and I think again I'm the only one in my family who love raisins. Hey, I love prunes, so I know I'm strange, but it is what it is. So anyway, Hamilton. I mean, when they were doing the Beyonce beat, that's all you had. I was like, um, and you know, the Biggie beat, and I mean, it is a love story to hip hop through America's telling of history, and I love it. I would love for us to see more historians, and you know, and Hamilton was, you know, this is the thing that I think that even in the midst of Black Lives Matter, and I realize that a lot of the founders, primarily almost all of them, did not really have a good track record with, and I'm saying that politely, with race and with gender. And I get that and I acknowledge that. But, and maybe this is the political science in me, is that I still appreciate the words. I still appreciate the theology that comes out of it, even if we want to debate, well, it's white supremacy and all of that. So it's even hard for me to sometimes, and also because when I was in school, I hated history, and it's just so funny to me that a part of my teaching practice is storytelling. I absolutely adore stories, and I will read any book and I'll listen to any story. And I sometimes may not even understand why I'm doing it. Like today, I'm listening to this Audible book. First of all, I know people are going to hate me when I say this, but I am not a fan of Emily Dickinson. I that's just not my thing. Yes, I'm an English major in undergrad and in one of my master's degrees, but I'm just not Emily Dickinson. It didn't speak to me, and maybe as maybe when I can, as maybe I can go back to it now as an older version who's married. But I mean, because, I hope you know a little bit about Emily Dickinson. If not, Google her. So there's this book on Audible called A Woman of the World. And it's essentially a book about Emily Dickinson's, one of her first publishers that pretty much put her on the map. And it's just like the celestial. I mean, it's an interesting story. I actually, it's only an hour and 20-minute Audible book, so it's not like that much of a waste of time. And then I fast forward, and then I do, 1.5 times. So really, it's like a 35-minute book to listen to. I don't know how many pages that is, so don't even ask. Well, it must be like under 100, because a 20-hour book is about a 500-page book. So you do the math. So I just feel that, I'm like, is this really a true story? You guys are really out here having these kind of affairs and doing orgies. Okay, fine. You don't want to say orgy, I will. Again, like I don't get into the history of Elizabeth, of her, as much as I should, because frankly, I don't care. Emily Dickinson, like, I don't care. But I adore the story. Like, I see if there's something that I can learn from it, and I truly, would I ever teach Emily Dickinson? No. Like, it's not, it doesn't resonate with me. Not unless somebody told me I had to, and then I have to sit and pause and meditate and get into it. But as of, I don't even know if yes, I do own an Emily Dickinson book, but I mean, poetry. Some of her poetry is lying around. As you can see, I don't have 1,000 books, but I'm close. I am close. But I've also given away a lot of books over my life, so. Anyway, that being said, and my kids are excited that we can now check out books and have them and go pick them up at the library. But I don't know, because of the lockdown again, maybe that's not possible. So with that being said, run to see Hamilton on Disney Plus app. I have no idea whenever you're going to be able to see it live. Like I said, I do probably am going to see this live one day, and I'm probably going to see it by myself. I may take my mom as a splurge, but and just don't show her the ticket, because she'd be like, "You spent how much on these tickets?" Like, but and it's a strange thing that, like, my daughter is now of the age where she's beginning to appreciate musicals and plays. Like, she gets all into it, so I think it's pretty cool. And my son can sit through it, just like, which I think is kind of surprising. He doesn't get antsy. Like, he can actually sit through it and appreciate it without saying anything. So so that's pretty positive, as long as it's not longer than 2 hours, and Hamilton is, then I think it should be fine. Anyway, so tomorrow I'll definitely get into the anti-racist. I just really wanted to focus on Hamilton. Oh, and by the way, okay, I'm getting too long because I actually have a meeting and I'm late too right now, but I wanted to spend a little bit of time with you. I'm gonna have to wait till tomorrow because I'm getting messages. But I will say, tomorrow, let's talk about the disaster of Charlie's Angels. Like, I finally saw it, and I didn't have to be ready for it. It's on Stars, and I am like, this is a disaster of a movie. Who did this movie? Anyway, talk to you later. See you tomorrow.